up, everybody? It's your boy Jeremy Speaks, and I'm coming at y'all again today with another video. I ain't gonna even hold you. What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? How's everybody doing? I got some really important stuff to talk to y'all about, huh? I feel that, now that the election has fully settled into my being, right? I feel like I am back around, 80%. I'm not gonna lie and act like that I was not hurt, with the outcome of the election, but what can I do? I'm just a black man in America. But I'm not like all black mans. I'm a different, different percentage of black men out there. Now, y'all listen. I know y'all are probably wondering, Jeremy, where is that goddamn Love and Marriage Huntsville, episode review? And to that I say, I will get it to y'all when I get to it. Okay, I have not gotten a chance to watch the episode yet. I really am not enthused to watch it, to be honest, because all of the millimeters want to sit here and argue with me in the comment section and act like they wasn't harassing people for 3 years. But that's besides the point. We here to talk about something way more important than a Carlos King owned network production. Okay, now let's do this. So I was scrolling through social media like I always do to keep myself up on things that are happening in the world right now, right? And around the time before the election, took place, there was so many Hispanic, so many, I'm not going to say Hispanic, I'm going to say Latino, so many black men, black people, and so many other races wanting to we can't forget Palestinians and the Arab or Muslim community. We can't forget you can't forget them either, right? And let's talk about it. Kamala was getting put on this damn hot seat because we expected her to give us reparations. Oh, I'm not going to say we. I'm going to say, the congregation of black men, the one that I'm not a part of. And, and then also for the Palestinians, they wanted a ceasefire, which I 100% agree with in that case. I do. But something that I was noticing with all of this happening was that, okay, we're popping up at Kamala's rallies, but ain't nobody popping up at Donald Trump's rallies. What's going on? Did they forget the address? Did nobody tell them the address or the confirmation date of all of Donald Trump's rallies to pop up at and demand things like y'all were doing of Kamala and calling her all types of aliases that y'all made up with her name, which is kind of anti-black within itself, but I'm not going to go there right now. But I remember there was so many people who was putting a lot of responsibility on Kamala in regards to to Palestine. Mind you, she's the vice president, not the president. She cannot call force a ceasefire if the president himself is not doing that. But, not going to sit here and blame anything on Joe Biden because Kamala, it was dumb as hell for saying a lot of the stuff that she said. Y'all already know, I already think that Kamala was basically trying to scoot on over to the moderate to conservative side and move away from the liberal, the liberal side, progressive, so. But I was looking at some things, right? And I saw it on social media. And, I wanted to come on here and talk to y'all about it because I wanted to know if y'all are wondering the same things I'm wondering, right? So first things first, I'm gonna share my screen because y'all know I love to do that. I love a good screen share, okay? I love me a good screen share. So give me 1 second. Let me do it right now. Because we about to have fun today. Oh, yes, we are. Because, you know, you uneducated people will never learn. Never. But let's continue. So let me scoot this on over here. Let me, put myself in this little box. To be honest, y'all really don't even need to see me if I'm being fair, because I'm not on camera right now. But I want y'all to read this. So, mind you, this was from November 3rd, a few days before, the election. And, this man is named I Am Show Nuff. Democrats ignored black men demands for reparations while funding illegal immigrants crossing the border, and now have the nerve to be upset that many are voting for Trump. Let's read. Let's listen to this real quick. I want to listen.
Counts that maybe 1 in 2 black men may vote for Donald Trump, which if you know anything about the voting record of black Americans, they've had 90% voting Democrat for a long time. It's just they've just expected that. So can you see that happening? Could you just see 1 in 2 black men voting Republican?
1 in 2 is high. But
it's high. It's the highest I've heard, but
right. But I can see 1 in 4, and I'm going to tell you this. I've actually compiled this. Black men are actually sick of the Democrats and are voting for Trump for many reasons. One is a failure to produce reparations. California exposed Democrats' lies on reparations. When challenged by a California state Republican to put reparations to an actual vote on the floor, they folded because the Democrats never planned on doing reparations in the first place. It was a ruse to secure black votes, as I said on this program last year. Student loans also being in that same vein of a lie.
Pause. Student loans and reparations. But let's continue. I just want y'all put a 1 in the chat if you heard student loans and reparations. Put a 1 in the chat if you heard him say that these are the black man's concerns. Student loans and reparations. Put a 1 in the chat. I want to know if you heard that. Okay. All right. I think I'm seeing it. Because we're gonna go through a couple things. All right. So let's go back to what Mr. I don't know who this man is. I think it's Benji, Mr. Irby. Well, let's listen to what he has to say.
Also, there's legal immigration. At the time that Democrats are saying no to black people for reparations, black men are watching that the Democrats that we vote for are spending billions of our tax dollars putting illegals up in 4- and 5-star hotels in New York City at $500 a night. We're seeing videos of illegals stepping over homeless black Americans on the street to go into these hotels that the black American taxpayer is paying for. And American black men who have been complaining forever about police brutality and over-policing are literally watching illegals get away with murder right in front of us, on top of the fact that they're present.
Over policing, police brutality. Do you hear the words that are coming out of Mr. Benji's mouth? That these are the thoughts and the issues amongst black men. Do you hear this? I just want to know if I'm hearing it right. These are the car facts. But let's continue.
Here is a crime. So I say the Democrats had a choice between black men and illegals. They chose legals, so we're choosing Trump. Also, there's the LGBT agenda and school choice. No black man, white man, or any actual man is for the Democrats pushing LGBT and trans ideology on children. But one of the many ways that we get around this is school choice. But of course, Democrats aren't for that. Also, we're tired of pandering, fear tactics, and denial of agency, because black men, obviously, we are men. And like men, we are naturally hate being.
Also, y'all, put a 1 in the chat if you think this nigga gay. Put a 1 in the chat if you think this nigga gay. Put a 1 in the chat. I want to know, because he gives me a little booty pirate myself. I know one when I see one. It takes one to know one. I I got 99 problems, but Benji gay ass is not one. Just put a 1 in the chat. I just want to know. Okay, let's continue.
Being told what to do. So when I tell people that I support Trump, people say things like, oh, you hate yourself, you hate your mother, you're a coon, you want to be white, oh, the police kill you. Trump is going to give police immunity to kill black men, which is also not true. But I mean, to that, I reply, what if I just like Trump's policies better? Like, what if I'm for lower taxes and the use of tariffs to set off our national debt? What if I'm for mass deportation of illegals, as most black men are, and the abolishment of birthright citizenship, which most black men are for?
Now, ooh, oh my God, y'all. I really don't know how black women do it. I really don't know how black women do it, to be fair. Like, I really be trying to understand it, how y'all let these niggas lay on top of y'all. And I'm talking about the heteros, obviously, because this is the hetero faction of black men. I told you I ain't a part of this. But how do y'all let these men lay on top of y'all? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't. Now, I feel a couple ways, but I'm gonna just let this play so y'all can hear what Benji's saying.
Also for Trump's drill baby drill energy exploration program. I'm for RFK's whole, make America healthy again agenda to get rid of seed oils and carcinogens in our foods. I lean libertarian, so I'm all for Elon Musk and Ron Paul trimming the fat at our government agencies. And I like that Trump was the only president in the modern era not to start a new war. So why is it that I, as a black man, cannot make political decisions based on policy, logic, or my personal financial situation like everybody else does? Why is it that I, as a black man, have to base my entire political calculus on the possibility of me being pulled over and killed by a police officer when the president and the federal government don't even control the police? Police are funded by state and local municipalities. So when they say that Trump's going to give police power and immunity to kill black people, that's a lie.
All right. I think I've heard enough of Mr. Benji. So first things first, what I wanted y'all to see. So let's go over the first thing that they decided to bring up to us, as the black men of America. So it was reparations first, and I'm not one to say that I'm not wrong on a lot of topics. I was wrong about this. Trump is definitely willing to give people reparations. He's definitely willing to offer up reparations to people who's been, I guess, discriminated against on their skin color. But unfortunately, I think, I may be a little bit right, maybe a little bit wrong, because let's hear what Trump has to say. So this is coming from Keith Boykin's Twitter page. I love him. So Trump announces reparations for white people. He says he will ask the Justice Department to penalize colleges that consider diversity, equity, and inclusion and fine them so he can pay restitution to white people who he considers the real victims of racial discrimination. You can't make this shit up.
Against schools that continue. Furthermore, I will direct the Department of Justice to pursue federal civil rights cases against schools that continue to engage in racial discrimination and schools that persist in explicit unlawful discrimination under the guise of equity will not only have their endowments taxed, but through budget reconciliation, I will advance a measure to have them fined up to the entire amount of their endowment. A portion of the seized funds will then be used as restitution for victims of these illegal and unjust policies that hurt our country so badly. Colleges have gotten hundreds of billions of dollars from hardworking taxpayers, and now we are going to get this anti-American insanity out of our institutions once and for all. We are going to have real education in America.
So it looks like he is willing to give reparations, but it's to white people. How that work? Y'all fought Kamala because Kamala couldn't give y'all reparations and then voted for Donald Trump. And then he takes the reparations that was supposed to go to you and give them to white people for their racial discrimination. How hilarious is that? Huh? I think it's quite hilarious. I don't know about y'all, but I find it quite hilarious that black men were basically so up in arms about their reparations. I need my reparation. I need my reparation. I need my reparation. You know, and then Trump said, fine, I will give reparations, but it will go to the white people who's been so hurt by racial discrimination. The irony of this is hilarious. The irony of this is hilarious. And let's also talk about the fact that, white men are not being discriminated against in schools. And when he says that he wants people to get rid of diversity, equity, and inclusive measures into schools and jobs and etc., is basically saying too many of you coloreds have jobs. Too many of you people of color are getting educated. We need to have majority white people, especially white men, getting education as a priority. You black people, you blackies, you Hispanics, you all you other people who are not white and man, how dare you want education? Because I will make sure that if there is 100% of admissions being divvied up between different races, I'm going to sue the shit out of every single one of these schools because it should be 100% white. 100% white. How dare you? How dare you hurt these white men like this? They deserve reparations for everything that they've been through. Do you know what their ancestors had to go through? Do you know how hard it was to whip the back of so many big black men? Do you know how tired that made them? Do you know? Oh my God, the world is just so selfish nowadays, y'all. I really don't know why it is always against the white man. But thank God we have black men there to wipe the tears of the white man with a handkerchief, a Kleenex, a triangle of a Kleenex, and put it in their tear ducts and comfort the white men from all the discrimination that they've been facing. You black men, y'all are heroes. Oh God. Oh my goodness. If I could be more like that, the world would be a better place. Also, let's go to the next. Let's go here. So for those of y'all who remembered the next portion, right? It was about police brutality, right? It was about police brutality, and then we'll get to student loans, and then we'll move on to the other people, that I need to address. He said Trump never said that he would give police immunity. Trump never said that. Why would Trump ever say he would give police immunity when they're committing all of these police brutality-like actions against black men? He never said he was going to do that. He never said that. But let's listen.
I'm giving federal immunity to police officers so they can do their job.
Giving federal immunity to police officers so they can do their job. Whew. But let's continue. Let's listen to it. Let's listen to Conscious Lee. I love this man too.
Can you imagine a world where Derek Chauvin got police immunity after we watched what he did to George Floyd? Can you imagine that world? Former president says if he's elected again, he wants to protect police from prosecution. Don't take my word for it. It's in the document that his campaign provided that talks specifically about protecting law enforcement from frivolous lawsuits. Now, think about this. When he's being policed, he wants to defund them. But when we being policed, he wants to give them immunity. Trump wants the police to be above the law, except for when it comes to how he's breaking it. And it's obvious that his plan for police immunity is exactly like his plan for healthcare.
I have concepts of a plan. I'm not president right now, but
So for the folks,
wow. It's almost like they just got online and got on news stations and just lied and came across so uneducated when all of the research to see that everything that they're wanting and that they're fighting Kamala for, Donald Trump is staunchly against it. Wow. If only there was some type of search engine on the internet that we can go look up all the things that Trump says and cross-examine them. But I don't think that thing exists yet, right? Right? So now we basically have reparations for white people, which is completely in opposition to what the black man wanted. Now we also have police immunity federally and protections from lawsuits, which apparently is not what the black man wanted. Now let's get on to student loans. Let's go there. So student loan borrowers can expect two of Biden's key debt relief efforts to face roadblocks under Trump. Let's read this. So it says, student loan relief is now a lot more uncertain for millions of federal borrowers. Two efforts in particular are in the hot seat. President Joe Biden's Save Income-Driven Repayment Plan intended to give borrowers cheap monthly payments and a shorter timeline for relief. This has been blocked in court since July following a lawsuit by GOP-led states, GOP meaning Republican. In addition, the president's broader student loan forgiveness plan intended to benefit over 30 million borrowers is also blocked in court pending a final decision. Under Biden, the Education Department canceled billions of dollars in student loans for nearly 5 million borrowers. Though he hasn't been able to pass broad forgiveness, the relief was a result of targeted actions for borrowers on programs including public service loan forgiveness and income-driven repayment plans. President Trump is unlikely to continue both Biden's targeted debt relief efforts and broader student loan forgiveness initiatives that are blocked in court. He's throwing money out of the window, Trump previously said of Biden's debt relief efforts, also calling broad relief vile and illegal. When Business Insiders asked Trump's campaign if the president-elect would oppose student loan forgiveness, Caroline Leavitt, the Trump-Vance transition spokeswoman, said in a statement, the American people re-elected President Trump by a resounding margin, giving him a mandate to implement the promises he made on the campaign trail. He will deliver. The campaign did not elaborate on what Trump would do for student loan borrowers. However, Americans can look back at Trump's first term in the White House to gauge the actions he might take on student debt. His actions, or his education department, ran up a backlog in processing applications for PSLF and borrower defense to repayment applications, which allow relief for those who were defrauded by the schools they attended. Trump also suggested getting rid of the education department altogether. Some advocates have vowed to fight for borrowers' protections under Trump's second term. Mike Pierce, executive director of the advocacy group Student Borrower Protection Center, said in a statement after Trump won the election that Trump's policies left millions drowning in student debt. Wow. And y'all still gave him y'all vote. So everything that the black man was holding against Kamala is every single thing that Donald Trump is against himself. But we never heard of anybody holding Donald Trump accountable. We never heard of any black men, protesting against Donald Trump. We never heard of any of that. Because why would they do that? Because at the end of the day, the black man is meant to help the white man wipe his tears from racial discrimination. How fucking pathetic. Huh? How pathetic is that? Huh? You hold this black woman accountable for all of the wrongs that have ever been taken in this country against our community, but the white man who's literally saying, I'ma snatch all of that shit that y'all want away and y'all ain't never gonna get it, this is the one that y'all voted for. This is it. But it don't just stop there, y'all, because it wasn't just black men that had such a supportive nature for Donald Trump. It was also, I won't even say for Donald Trump, right? Hold on. I want to show you guys something else. So let's go here. So for those of y'all who don't remember, the DNC protest group wins fight to erect stage sound systems, portable toilets during rally and the march. So a group of pro-Palestinian activists planning a series of protest marches during the Democratic National Convention declared victory Friday after city officials agreed to allow them to set up a stage, sound systems, and portable toilets in a park near the United Center. The coalition to march on the DNC had been granted permits to march from Union Park to Park 578 and back during the convention, but originally were not allowed to put up any stages or platforms, sound equipment, or portable toilets. Accusing the city of blindsiding them with restrictions, organizers on Thursday said they plan to ask federal judge for an injunction on Friday to stop the city from enforcing those restrictions, accusing the city of violating the amendment rights. So for those of y'all who don't remember, Kamala during her campaign run was getting lit the fuck up by Palestinians, and in my opinion, I think it was well deserved. I'm not here to say that Palestinians do not need to be freed from the binds and the wrongful deaths that they're facing at the hands of Israelis. But something that I was noticing when all of this was going down, y'all, was that why are they only showing up to Kamala's events? Why are they doing that? Why does it seem as if like they only show up to Kamala's fucking Kamala shit? Why is that? Isn't that kind of weird? There's two people who's literally battling for presidency. One of them were already president and has a staunch support group, but we sitting here calling Kamala a genocide defender. She's down with the genocide and everything else going on in Palestine, which has a lot of truth to it. Not saying it doesn't. However, nobody was also going to Trump's rallies and holding these same type of protests. Why is that? And something else that I noticed, y'all, was that, have y'all heard about any other motherfucking protests since Donald Trump has won? I haven't. I have not. Where's the protesters at? Where's the protest? I don't see them down the streets. I don't see them marching along my streets anymore. What happened? Palestine is still being victimized by Israel to this day. So, where y'all at? Where y'all at? Because I want to show y'all something. I'm going to show y'all something real fast. So the future Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, says he doesn't care about civilians in the Gaza Strip and hopes Israel levels the streets. Free Palestine. Your vote is reaching the consequences. Now let's see what this man has to say. And this is the future Secretary of State who will be working underneath Donald Trump. Now let's listen to what this man had to say. And I want to know, after y'all hear this, have y'all heard any protest? Have y'all seen anybody with signs calling calling, this man a murderer or Donald Trump a murderer. Did y'all hear anything about that? Because I have not. Why is that? Questions that need answers. But let's watch.
Senator Rubio, will you call for ceasefire?
No, I will not.
Gaza?
On the contrary.
Senator Rubio,
are you filming it?
Wait,
so I want you guys to get this. I want them to destroy every element of Hamas they can get their hands on. These people are vicious animals who did horrifying crimes. And I hope you guys post that.
And what about the civilians that are being
Hamas.
killed every day?
Hamas should stop hiding behind civilians, putting civilians in the way. Hamas knew that this was going to lead to this. So Hamas should stop building their military installations underneath hospitals.
So you don't care that 15,000 have died? You don't care about the babies that are being killed every day?
Horrifying. I think it's terrible, and I think Hamas is 100% to blame.
Wow. Wow. It's insane because it's almost like every single thing that they were calling Kamala, Donald Trump is literally that. And everybody in his cabinets. Never once could anybody on Kamala's team ever say anything like this and get away with it. But it seems as if Marco Rubio and the Trump campaign and the Trump, the Trump administration coming up doesn't have to answer for any of this, because obviously the Palestinian protesters don't have the address to show up at like they were at the Democratic conventions and Kamala rallies. Where are y'all at? We're waiting. Huh? Where are y'all at? Because it looks to me that everybody motherfucking silent now. But it seems that when Kamala was doing her campaign, y'all couldn't stop popping up where she was at, interrupting her rallies, doing every single thing y'all could to interrupt. And I'm not saying, once again, that what they were saying was wrong or not important. I'm just citing that it is real strange how all of the protesting that y'all were doing has ceased now that Donald Trump has won, and his administration is literally saying they will give Israel every single thing that they need to destroy Hamas and continue the slaughterization of that community. Wow. Isn't that insane? But I just want to know in the chat, have y'all heard about any type of protest? Because I have not. Where are they at? Because I'll sign up, to go to one like I did out here. But I unfortunately am not really seeing any more protests happening within like the next month or so. So I'm just trying to figure out what the fuck happened. Because last time I checked on Twitter, there were still gruesome videos of Palestinians being uploaded on social media, letting us know that none of this shit has stopped. I did hear about that, Keisha, but I don't have enough evidence or I don't have enough support to cover that. So I'm not going to do that because I ain't trying to get sued. Okay. But listen, I just think it's kind of weird, me personally, how none of this is, all of this is going. Where's the fight for justice? Where's the fight for freedoms? Where's the fight against genocide? Is that done now? We managed to get Kamala not to be elected, but what now? It's kind of coming across as racism to me. It's kind of coming across as racism, y'all. I don't know. Because it's weird that the black woman who y'all question her blackness because her mama was Indian, but I'm just saying, like, this man literally just said that he wants Israel to destroy every piece of the Hamas. Don't give a fuck if they're hiding behind civilians or not. Bomb them hoes is basically what he's saying. Wow. Don't hear no protests about this shit. And shit blowing me. It almost seems as if it was strategic, or as if some of this had ulterior motives behind it, or as if there were some type of nefarious motivation behind popping up wherever Kamala was and putting a lot of heat on Kamala, but nothing on Donald Trump. And now he's saying they want to support Israel in blowing every fucking thing up like they've been doing. And I don't hear shit. I don't hear a damn thing. But let's continue. So for those of y'all who don't know, give me a second. Give me 1 second, y'all. All right. So I want to play this real fast for y'all. And I want y'all to, listen to this real fast before we get into our next video, basically showing how idiotic these people are.
So like she wasn't clear, like she wasn't standing on nothing. It's like Kamala ain't like take no stance on nothing. Like she wasn't clear, like she wasn't standing on nothing. Trump was at least standing on stuff. Like he had clear, he told you what he was gonna do, what he wanted. She was like flip-flop, like she wasn't standing. She wasn't standing on nothing. Like society getting soft. Like everything's so soft, sensitive, filtered and all that. And then you got Trump. He gonna say what he want, like regardless. He don't really got no filter. He gonna say what he want.
As far as the right, there are a lot of young men who see themselves in the examples that they're seeing on the right. They see principled people, whether they come from the same religious or social background as they do. They see people who are about their family. On the left, you see this notion that a family can look like anything other than a man and a woman. And there are a lot of young men who don't believe in that. They don't agree with that.
And other communities that decided to side with the Republican Party. And I don't know everything, but one of my theories is because we're not meeting the needs of average, everyday working citizens. People are telling you groceries are too high. People are telling you that rent prices are out of control.
They will, tend to hedge toward conservatism.
Notice how this, y'all know where this is being videotaped at, right? A black barbershop. Can y'all see that? I know y'all do.
Because those clips speak to them better. The Joe Rogans of the world, all those, kind of conservative clips that they listen to or podcasts that they listen to speak to them.
All right. So let me pause this real fast because I want y'all to see this real fast. So basically, let me zoom out of this so y'all can see more of it. So if you look at let's say at the metrics for this election, Donald Trump had a 49% increase in Latin voters, majority of them voting for him and his administration. Basically decreasing the number that voted, for Kamala. I don't think you guys. I think if I'm not being mistaken, there was a 53% percent of Latino voters voting for Trump after all of the polling came back after the election. 53%, majority of them. I think it might have been in the 60s. I could be wrong, but I don't want to I could go on MSNBC and go to the polling data, but I'm not really trying to do that right now. That's a little too much. I know y'all ain't really like that as far as like, political commentary, because I love political commentary. I watch it all the time. However, mind you, majority, if not a good percentage of Latino voters have family that are undocumented. They have family who are basically in the country illegally, that either live with them or they know where they live or they're helping them financially, things of that nature. And the Latino family is very close. Well, it's a good thing that they close, because listen to what Tom Homan said. He's going to be the head of ICE during Trump's family separation policy. Let's listen to what he had to say.
We have seen one estimate that says it would cost $88 billion to deport 1 million people a year.
I don't know if that's accurate or not.
Is that what American taxpayers should expect?
What price do you put on national security? Is it worth it?
Is there a way to carry out mass deportation without separating families?
Of course there is. Families can be deported together.
Oh shit, this is crazy. From all the clips going around, I thought black men turnout for Trump would have been way higher than it was, but 78% voted for Kamala, and of course black women showed up. Tracy, the problem about that is it's strange that that over 20% of black men are voting for Trump, period. Whereas only 9% of black women voted for Trump. They tripled in percentage and numbers compared to black women. So basically, black men tripled in their support for Trump. That's why I'm holding them accountable. We all know that there's a large percentage of them that's still going to vote Democrat, but I want to specifically talk about the manosphere and the entertainment industry and things that we avidly have our eyes on, where we see these black men voting for Republicans. They were in the double digits, not in the tens, in the mid 20s. 23%. Mind you, that was a 7% increase from the Biden administration. So 7% of Jesus. 7% of the black men who voted for Trump, they used to be Biden administration voters. Tina, I don't know what you mean, sis, but you know what? I have no problem with this real quick. Hold on. Give me a second. Give me a second. Cause if you want this, big litty, if you want this fade, come and get it. I'm not really bothered by anything, to be honest. If I'm being fair here, I could care less about what anybody feels about what I'm saying. And mind you, these are only covering the key states, right? Let me share this. All right. Do y'all see this? These are the key states. Mind you, the swing states basically. These are these are the swing states that were all tabulated by the MSNBC's polling. to the 7% that voted for Donald Trump, for the black women, there were 3 times as much for black men voting for Trump. Like I said. Because I thought a whole who don't know what she talking about said something. Bitch, the only Tina I recognize is Turner, okay? And Marie. If you ain't Tina Marie or Tina Turner, bitch, don't talk to me. Matter of fact, let me help you out. Let me help you out real quick, sis. I don't even know if you sis or not. I don't know what the fuck you are. Let me help you out. Now you don't have to worry about ever, dealing with my channel again, sis. You don't have to be here. You ain't forced. Free speech, right? But yes, like I was saying, compared to the black women's vote, black men came in over 3 times as much to vote for Trump. That is the truth. And since we're talking about it right here, majority of Latino men voted for Trump. Majority of them. And don't even get me started on the white women. On the white women, y'all. Don't even get me started on that. But I ain't surprised. But back to what I was saying. Cause it just doesn't stop there, y'all. Let's go here.
Why do we have this? We've got to say
Donald Trump wants to completely disintegrate the Department of Education. Why? Our state should be doing that. Our federal government should not be involved in the education system. It's so funny how they don't want to be involved in the education system, basically having to give up money to help fund education in districts, in states. But they want to intrude upon your body and your anatomy. Isn't that weird? That's crazy, right? But let's continue. Let's listen.
than this. We've got to say, what agencies don't we need? Why do we have the Department of Education? Why? Our states should be doing that. Our federal government should not be involved in the education system. We should let each of our states do it, and we'll find the best. If Florida's the best, other people will emulate us. What I did as governor, if I saw somebody doing something well, like Rick Perry, I tried to emulate it and do it better than Rick Perry. That's what we should be doing. It's the United States of America. It's not the federal government of America. It's the United States. Let's go back and give our states the ability to do these things.
So are those some of...
So I just want to let you guys know how that's going to affect every single one of you too. So mind you, Trump just put out a policy to basically give white people reparations for quote unquote college discrimination towards white men. But he's also saying that the federal government shouldn't have anything to do with education. Don't you find that strange? But I do want to talk to y'all about it. So Jeremy went to business school. Jeremy took a lot of economic classes. Jeremy was a double major graduating out of business school. But let's talk about it. So suppose you are a school and you have schools all over the state. The federal government is allocated to fund, let's say maybe 100 million to the state, right? So if I dismantle $100 million, meaning the Department of Education from the state, where are they going to get that money from? How are they going to pay the teachers? How are people going to get federal grants, federal loans? How is that going to happen if the Department of Education is disintegrated and then it goes into the state? Where do you think the state is going to get that money from, y'all, to recoup at least some of the money that they're losing with the federal government diminishing the Department of Education? Can y'all say state taxes? Can y'all say state taxes? So, not only will the Department of Education be dismantled, but then they're going to put the burden to fund everything on the state. Y'all, quick question: where does the state get the money from to build things, to fund things in our respective states and cities? Where does that come from? Yes, Keisha, it comes from your taxes. So, if the federal government is going to be dismantling the Department of Education, the only way to balance out the lack of cost is to what? I want to hear somebody in the comment section say it. How will they decide to counterbalance the loss of funding from the government? How would they do that? I'm waiting. I'm waiting to hear y'all say. I'm waiting to hear y'all say the answer. How they gonna be funding all of this? Tracy, I understand that thought process, but I highly recommend that you still keep up with what's going on. Putting your head under the covers and avoiding everything that's going to go on is not going to stop you from potentially putting yourself in danger over lack of information. We can't, I think a large part of the reason why so many of us are uninformed is because a lot of times we want to just shy away from the things that make us uncomfortable, that irritates us, that tires us out, that we don't want to hear about it. But at the end of the day, this will all directly be impacting you. So you should be reading into all of this to know how to counteract, how to move accordingly, and what you should be doing. I highly recommend everybody to keep tabs on what's going on. Yes, more taxes. Y'all got it right. Raise the tax. Y'all paying taxes enough. Y'all raise them even more. Raise them even more. Not to mention, we're going to also be getting 60% tariffs on all imports into the U.S., meaning that that the sales tax for every single thing that we're buying is going to be increased, meaning that suppose that, a company sells a shirt for $10, right? But we end up putting a tariff on the import, let's say from China. Right? So with that tariff being added, the company is going to have to pay that tariff. Right? And I know a lot of y'all are thinking, well, the companies have to pay the tariffs. They're not coming directly out of our pockets, right? Now, with that being said, the company is still going to make sure that they get their bottom line profit and that won't change. So to counterbalance the increased costs with the tariffs, what they will do is parallel and increase the cost of the actual product that they're selling to you, meaning that the shirt will no longer be $10. Now it will be $17, $18. Now, if you just take shirts out of that and put it with every import that we're going to be having into this country, and everything increasing in price, you're going to see why it makes no motherfucking sense why people are saying that they voted for him for the economy. And you want to know what happens when we have higher GDP, higher costs of living? The inflation increases. Wow. Isn't it crazy how it all connects like that? So it seems as if we've all been forsaken by a large percentage of our community. It really does seem that way. 20%, over 20% of black men voted for Trump. 55% of Latino men voted for Trump. Over 55%, maybe I think up to 63% of white women voted for Trump. And every single one of his policies will be snatching away every single thing that at least helped them in this community. And the crazy part about it is, y'all, so many people are already starting to see how this is starting to play out. So let's listen to this real quick.
Trump voters are already regretting their votes, and it has not even been a week. Now they are finding themselves in panic mode as they begin to realize how disastrous Trump's policies will be for them. Businesses are already taking drastic measures to try to counteract Donald Trump's promised tariffs, slashing jobs in the United States. And this is just the beginning, folks, so buckle up. And don't say we didn't warn you. My name is Brett Meiselas here with the Midas Touch Network. Be sure to hit subscribe and help us get to 3.5 million subscribers. Let me show you this from the Google Trends. They track what people are searching, and you could see that during the election, the night of the election, what was one of the top searches? Change my vote, or how can I change my vote? You could see the spike right here on this trend graph, which it spiked that day. And if you look at the actual specific states, the interest by sub-region for this search, you see that there are some
majority of, and a lot of those were swing states: Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, North Carolina. The swing states that she lost. Then now these bitches want to change their motherfucking vote.
Some states that are pretty important in the election. You see at number 1, Oklahoma, number 2, Utah, but then you see number 3, Wisconsin, number 4, Pennsylvania, number 5, North Carolina. Now that is instant regret that we are seeing. And those weren't the only types of searches that people were making the night of the election. Here's another one. Are tariffs bad? Was a popular search term. You could again see it spike right around the time of the election and on election day and election night. And you could look at the popular subregions too where this post was made. You could see number 1, West Virginia, number 2, Minnesota, number 3, Michigan, number 4, Iowa, and number 5, Pennsylvania. I don't think people quite realized, maybe because the corporate media wasn't covering this often. I don't know exactly what it was. Maybe they were just so distracted by Donald Trump's antics. But a lot of these voters did not realize how damaging Donald Trump's tariffs would be to them. They thought that it was a tax on China and not on themselves, and that it wouldn't lead to higher prices for themselves. And Walter Masterson, who's an incredible comedian who's here on YouTube, make sure you follow him. Make sure that you're subscribed. He's a great TikTok account too. Make sure you follow him everywhere. He did this amazing piece where he interviewed a small business owner and a Trump supporter about tariffs. And the guy at first clearly did not understand what tariffs were and how they would affect his business. But as Walter explains it to him, you could see his reaction change throughout the video. You could see this guy, the instant regret just in his face by the end of this video. Watch this.
I'm voting for the man that's going to take America back, baby. Donald J. Trump, man.
What's one of your biggest issues?
It's probably going to be inflation, because I sell T-shirts and all that stuff.
Your T-shirts are made in the USA?
No, my blanks, no. See, that's the thing Trump's talking about. If we tax them, hit tariffs, the same item they're making over there will cost the same to make over here.
We pay the tariffs.
Well, the companies pay the tariffs, not us.
China doesn't pay the tariffs. We do when they come in.
No, it doesn't work like that.
Like if I'm buying 1,000 shirts from China and there's a tariff on it, I'm paying the tariff.
Well, no, whoever's getting it imported in is going to pay the tariffs.
Yeah. I'm the business owner. I'm paying the tariff. China doesn't pay it. I pay for it.
Well,
like if I'm the business owner and I buy 1,000 shirts,
I see what you're saying.
China's not Jolly. So I'm trying to explain.
Who pays the tariff? They're paying the tariff.
Do you think that? You believe that?
I was trying to say, because I sell merch as well.
I sell you something for $10, right? You're going to sell it to him for $20.
Exactly.
But then I make you pay me $15 for it. Are you still going to sell it to him for $20?
I can sell it to him for 20.
If I raise the price $5,
Oh, it's gonna have to go up.
right? So
Yeah, the consumer foots the bill.
I mean, just brutal. I mean, if more people knew about that, if more of his supporters actually knew about that, how
Y'all, y'all, this is insane. This is insanity. This is insanity. This is insanity.
how these policies are going to affect them personally, I'm not quite sure they would have voted in the same way. Here's what Mark Cuban has to say about the current situation due to Donald Trump's election. Mark Cuban writes, right now, every company that imports from China is taking all the cash they can muster and buying up as much as they can and stuffing it in a warehouse in anticipation of the tariffs creating accelerated demand for imports. That money would have been used for expansion, raises, bonuses, and other operational elements. Because cash is relatively expensive and it costs money to store inventory, those companies will increase prices as if they had paid the expected higher tariffs. On the flip side, companies that export are expecting retaliatory tariffs. So they are calling their Chinese buyers and begging them to do what American companies are doing, buying up all they can. Sounds good, more sales now, except they have to accelerate buying up all the components in the bill of materials, which may be at a constant price today, but if other companies need those components, the price goes up. When those retaliatory tariffs hit, the companies have to pray that the companies in China they sell to can afford their products, or far worse, possibly the Chinese government tells them, if they can, to stop buying from the USA altogether. This is all happening right now. And then Mark Cuban says, if anyone has examples of this, I would love to see them in the replies, and I'll also extend that to you over here. I would love to hear if you have any examples of this as well. To that point, here is a post that we have seen that is outlining this exact issue. This individual writes, results have already started. This is from an American woman today. My husband works for a small manufacturing company, and here in southwestern Pennsylvania, that means most employees are Trump voters. When the president of the company sat them down today to tell them their annual Christmas bonus would not come this year because they now need to purchase at least a year's worth of products prior to January 21st due to the proposed tariffs they did not understand. My husband said that their president had to explain what a tariff is and how it will directly hurt their company. They all thought the foreign company paid the tariff. This is the level of ignorance voting against their own interests here in Pennsylvania, where we failed American women and children the night of the election. Here's another story posted by John Cooper. Cooper writes, my MAGA neighbor 5 minutes ago, quote, I just read that tariffs are going to raise prices for stuff. I don't get it. I thought China was going to pay them, end quote. I explained how tariffs work. I wish you could see the look on the guy's face when it sunk in. So much ignorance out there. And I want to make it clear right now, the current state of the US economy, maybe bookmark this, screenshot this, because you know that MAGA is going to try to take credit for Joe Biden's economy before Donald Trump destroys it. As this person lays out, MAGA. As of today, inflation is at 2.1%. Unemployment is at 4%. GDP is 3%. Many of these voters did not realize how damaging Donald Trump's tariffs would be to them. They thought that it was a tax on China and not on themselves, and that it wouldn't lead to higher prices for themselves and Walter Masterson for imports. That money would have been used for expansion, raises, bonuses, and other operational elements. Because cash is relatively expensive and it costs money to store. I explained how tariffs work. I wish you for a quick moment about climate and make clear that this issue will always remain.
So I hear a question about, I see one of you guys have a question about, will this affect rent prices? Unless the imports are coming from China itself, that will, that could possibly be, increasing the cost of rent to, because of the cost of building. But the cost of rent and housing and stuff like that will increase anyway, because Trump is giving more so power over to the the commercial properties, meaning that it won't be as many federal regulations basically controlling or keeping a pin on how high or how low rent can go, right? with deregulations federally for, let's say, rent prices among the commercial properties. That means if I own like an apartment complex, I no longer have to worry about the government giving me a cap on how much I can increase the rent by. And if everybody is doing that over, over the city and over the states, that means there would be just a national increase as far as housing cost. All of this is getting affected. But y'all, listen, I just had to come on here and get this off my chest real quick. I had to let y'all know how triggered I really was, because I was like, wow, it's really quiet right now. I don't hear no protest. I don't hear nothing. Where's all the protests? Where's all the fight for justice that was going on last month before Kamala lost the election? Where was all of this? That, that was really bothering me. And I want to let you know where I stand as far as Palestine goes. Jeremy is pro-Palestine. I don't believe that no marginalized community or a community in general should be getting their rights taken away. Getting killed in alarming, percentages. I don't believe in that. So I'm always going to believe that justice needs to happen for anybody who is dealing with discrimination, violence. However, I'm just saying that it's just strange to me how there's no more protest anymore. It's real quiet out here. And coincidentally, Kamala lost the election. It almost seems as if that was the plan in the first place. But now, the future Secretary of State said that they intend to weaponize Israel to the fullest extent to completely obliterate everything that Hamas is. If they're hiding behind the women and children in the hospitals, then so be it. But these are the people that are Christians. This is what Christ is leading y'all to do, right? Because a lot of y'all are also agreeing that Donald Trump should be president because of Christian values, basically meaning all of the hateful rhetoric in legislation to discriminate against people who you feel that don't align with your biblical beliefs. I'm highly disappointed. I'm highly disgusted. And I just want to say this. When all of this is going down, when people start losing everything, people start losing their houses, people start losing their homes, their jobs. And if you're in a secure place, don't answer their call if they voted for Donald Trump. Anybody that voted for Donald Trump or any community that voted for them in a large percentage, hit the ignore button. Put your cape down, put your cape in the closet. It is retired for now. And sit down. Because all of these things that targeted our community, getting rid of the Department of Education targets the Black community the worst, because we need the most financial aid to go to college. Police immunity. We're the ones who dealing with police brutality, right? Student loan debt. We're the ones who's dealing with that. But none of these other quote unquote people of color, and this is why I don't like, which is why I really don't like that term people of color, because we're not all the same. And I'm just saying that at no more will I be fighting. No more will I be, out here fighting for other people to realize the things that may be at stake. For every Black man that's out here, let them do whatever they got to do on their own. If there's some type of police brutality incident going on, y'all should just stay at home. Kick your feet up and relax. It ain't you. You didn't vote for Donald Trump. This ain't got nothing to do with you. It is time for y'all to relax. I know I will be. Okay. I'm not about to be here crying anymore. I'm not about to be getting myself emotionally distraught, caring about the danger of my own community towards my own community and other communities. I just won't. I just won't. Right? Just tipping. The if the Department of Education goes, all of that goes with it. The only thing that can hold that up is if the state wants to hold it up, but the state will be asking y'all via taxes to pay for it because the government ain't going to be funding it because the Department of Education will be dismantled along with the EPA and FDA. So no telling what the fuck is going to be in your food from now on. Right? But yes, y'all. I just really wanted to come and talk to y'all about this. They took funding from programs I used to attend as a young man. It's crazy. Yeah. But Jeremy went to college. I got my degree. Period. So I'm good. However, y'all sons and daughters that want to go to college, they may be in a little bit of trouble. They may be in trouble. Teachers aren't barely getting paid enough as is. My God. And then to expect teachers that like to take low pay on top of dealing with disrespectful ass children. I can't. But y'all listen, I want y'all to know that I wish there was something I could say to make y'all feel better, but honestly, I don't have it. I really don't have it right now. I really wish I knew what to say, but I don't. That's unfortunate. But hey, this is what America wanted. This is what they wanted. Who am I to argue with it? But y'all love yourselves. We are very creative people. We'll be okay. Okay. All right, y'all. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of y'all night. I plan on doing the same. Be on the lookout either later on tomorrow or Wednesday morning. I mean, not Wednesday morning, but Thursday morning for the Love and Marriage Huntsville episode recap. And I'll be here, I'll be doing my due deals and such. Might pop on, throughout the week and do other gossip related episodes and stuff like that. But I really wanted to talk to y'all about this because it's the only thing I can really focus on. But yeah, you guys have a beautiful rest of y'all day. Love yourselves. Know that you're worth it. Know that your life has purpose. And if nobody ever told you that you weren't loved, I'm here to tell y'all today that you are loved. However, I want to put an asterisk out there. If you voted for Donald Trump, bitch, I don't love you. Bitch, I don't even know if you love yourself. Bitch, if you voted for Donald Trump, don't come here wanting love from me. Bitch, I don't love you. I never will. Okay? I want to reiterate that. If you voted for Donald Trump, I hate you with every fiber in my being. And I wish nothing good for you. I don't wish nothing bad for you either, but you ain't getting no good wishes from me. All right? All right. I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of y'all day. I plan on doing the same.